Hi guys, it's Emily from Nobel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my October TBR. Now, you would have already seen that I've already put up my TBR for October, which I did last Wednesday. And obviously I wanted to do it separately this month. I do have another readathon, which is that I put a spell on you readathon at the end of the month, which is hosted by Nikki from I Read Past My Bedtime, Julie from A Hungry Bookworm, and the legendary Clint from Reads Readers. They are absolutely amazing. Now they've all got separate prompts for their readathons, and you get to pick which one of which you want to be, because they're each a different one. Now I picked Nikki, who I believe is Mary Sanderson. Now I'm looking at my notes because I do have to double check. I won't list the prompts, guys, because it's a manic month and I'm fitting this readathon in because I love the hosts and I hope you all join in with them. It's done at the end of the month. Their announcement videos will be linked in the descriptions below. And obviously that'll explain their prompts, but they've all got separate prompts. And Nikki's one actually suited me best. It suited the TBR I've already got. Now you guys know I'm also, like I said, doing October. So that's 2 readathons that I'm doing this month, which in itself will be manic. And I'm trying not to kill myself off, so I'm having to fit it in. I've got half term at the end of the month, hospitals at the start of the month. And who knows what the month will bring. I have put myself in a challenge of a few of the books this month are quite a lot longer, which is why, although I've got quite a few books this month, I'm not going to kill myself. If I don't complete it, I don't. I can't put myself under pressure. It's not good for my mental health. But to protect my mental health, I have got a nice range of genres. I've got historical fiction, which I love. I've got some chick lit, which are nice and cosy. I've got my classics, which are lovely. And then I've got a horror. Oh! Who thought I would ever say I'd be reading a horror? But I am. So you guys know, it's thanks to you lot. Especially Nikki and Linda. You've got a lot to answer for. And also Julie, by the way. So, I will get on with the chatting and I'll show you the books that I'm going to be reading. I'll start off with some of the lighter ones and explain how I'm going to be doing it. So, I think this is in the second week of the month I'm going to be reading this. A Night on the Orient Express by Veronica Henry. Now, I'm buddy reading this with the lovely Gaia from Gaia Athena. She is absolutely sweet as. I've read another chick lit book with her a couple of months ago, and I loved reading it with her. She is such a sweetheart. Now, Veronica Henry, this lovely author, saw that I tweeted about one of her books that I read last month for the Scooby-Doo-a-thon. And she was really lovely in the comments. And when I told her that I was going to be reading another one of her books this month, she asked what I was reading. So when I told her it was this one, she actually said that this is one of her favourite books. Now, I've read a few Veronica Henry books before I even came on BookTube, and I love them. They're cosy, they're lovely, and they're brilliant. This is a book about the Orient Express, so to speak. One group of passengers settling into their seats, taking their first sips of champagne. The journey from London to Venice is more than a trip of a lifetime. I don't want to know much more than this. I picked this up from a charity shop a while ago. And when I was speaking to Gaia about which books we could buddy read, she said this one. So, we've gone for it. I can't wait. We're not killing ourselves. We're only reading about 50 odd pages a day. It's gentle, it's cosy, and it's going to work beautifully alongside some of the harder hitting books. The next one is an Isabel Broom book. Now, I read her book a while ago. I think when I started off at Goodreads, and the actual author of this, Isabel Broom, actually liked my review on Goodreads. Now, to me, that meant something. That meant a lot. When authors get in touch with me, and they are so sweet, that kind of encourages me to read their books. Yes, it doesn't make me biased, because I'm not like that. I try and be like Nikki is, and I try to be objective. But I love the Isabel Broom books. I think she's so gentle, and I haven't been able to find them very easily in the charity shop. So when I saw this, I loved it. Look at this cover. It looks sort of Christmassy and snowy, so I don't know if I should be reading this now, or whether I should be waiting for winter, but it looks beautiful. So this Megan is going to a winter escape to Prague. So it's winter. Yeah, it's in October. I don't know how that's going to work, but it's chick lit. It's beautiful. It is a bit of a longer book. It's just about 400 pages. So again, I'm challenging myself, but it looks cosy. So I'll probably read this alongside some of my harder hitting books. Now, the next one is actually going to be one of the first books. It's actually the second book I'll be reading this month, actually. joint kind of first alongside another ones. But this is Proud. This is a short story collection from lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer plus authors. Charlie has spoken about this. It's her book that she's lent to me. Short story collection, so I think this is going to work beautifully alongside some of the hard-hitting books that I'm reading this month. Now I'm reading, the first book I believe I will be reading this month is my Elizabeth Gaskell book, which is obviously from October. So I'll be reading this alongside that and one other book which I'll be showing you shortly. But Charlie has raved about this. She is desperate to have it back. She is so sweet that she's lent it to me, and I remember her talking about it so well. I'm passionate about reading books about in all genres and about all sort of sexual orientations, whatever, however I'd want to word it. But to me, who you are is not based on your gender or preferences or anything. I think you are who you are because of your heart. And to me, I love the look of this book, and I know Charlie raved about it, so I can't wait to read it. 1st of October, this week it get started. And also Charlie said that I can read it in the evenings alongside some of the hard-hitting ones. So can't wait to read that. Now the next one, I'm not sure if this is historical fiction or not, as it's set in 1958. It's about a librarian. We all know that if you're a bookworm, I'm sure you love libraries, you love bookshops. So when I saw the author, the title of this, The Librarian, I thought, oh, it's beautiful. I love the cover. It's a Sally Vickers book, and I've heard mixed reviews about this, so I'm intrigued as to how I'm going to go with it. So in 1958, Sylvia Blackwell, fresh from one of the post-war library schools, sets up a job as a children's librarian in a rundown library in the market town of Eastmile. If she's a children's librarian, that makes it even more special, because I love going to the library with my kids. They love the library. So the fact that it's set back then makes it even more gentle. It's a village book. I don't think it's going to be too hard-hitting, but I have heard mixed reviews about this. So I'm intrigued as to how I'm going to do with it. I don't know when I'll get to this. It may be in the middle of the month. We'll see how I do. But I can't wait for it. This is one of those ones that's been on my shelf a while, and I'm not sure if I'm going to love it, keep it, bin it, what I'm going to do with it. So we'll have to wait and see with that one. That's one of my not sure ones. Now the next one, the lovely Julie from the Hungry Bookworm has given me, Black Orchids. It's a historical fiction book. It is set, in the 1950s. Sorry, I don't have the editing software, so I can't delete that. Sorry about that. So it's set in England in the 1950s, and it looks magical. Julie said I was going to love this. I don't know much more about this. I don't want to know. The cover is absolutely beautiful. The title is gorgeous, and I believe Julie liked it. So if Julie's liked it, then I'm going to love it. I know she said that I would love it. So it's sort of... I really don't know much more. This looks really good. England will not take kindly to strangers, especially families who are half black and half white. So a profound, moving novel about outsiders, race and Britain. Black Orchids is a story, humorous and poignant, about the search to feel at home in your own skin. Now that to me looks like it's going to tackle some hard-hitting issues, but it looks good, and I can't wait to read it. I think this one will need to be read alongside something softer, because it does look quite hard-hitting. But we'll have to wait and see. Now the next book is one I have been desperate for. You guys didn't, it was so close to be read, whether it was gotten read in Scooby-Dooathon, but it missed it by I think 1 or 2 votes, so I didn't get to read it last month. But it is going to be The Legendary Remembered by Yvonne Bate Felton. Charlie has spoken about this since probably the start of the year. It was one of her books that I've been nagging, and I repeat, nagging to borrow. And the kind and lovely Charlie has lent it to me. It is absolutely beautiful. It is set in the 1910s, I believe, in Philadelphia. And it's the last place Spring wants to be is in the rundown coloured section of the hospital, surrounded by the groans of sick people and the ghost of her dead sister. But as her son Edward lies dying, she has no choice. There are whispers that Edward drove a streetcar into a shop window. Some people think it was an accident. Others are certain it was his fault. The police are certain that he was part of a darker agenda. Is he guilty? Can they find the truth? All Spring knows is that time is running out, and she has to tell him of the story, how he came to be. With the help of her dead sister, newspaper clippings, and reconstructed memories, she must find a way to get through to him. to shatter the silences that governed her life, and she will do anything to lead him home. This book looks amazing. Charlie has spoken so poignantly of it. She said it's going to be hard-hitting. It's going to sort of, I think, may make me cry quite a bit. But she loved it, and I think the fact that she loved it means I've got to read it, and I can't wait. So again, this is going to be started on the 1st of October, and I cannot blooming wait. 1st of October, I start 3 very challenging and very long books. Let's see how I do with it, but it looks gorgeous. The writing is beautiful, the print is big, and it's less than 300 pages. I have a feeling that I'm going to fly through it and show you back a copy of it, but it looks beautiful. I can't wait to read it. I'm going to have to short my paws out on my side. I hope you guys like the new setting. I thought I'd change around my angle of this. I don't know how it's working or what you guys think. Now the next book is my longest book, so I probably should read this quite soon. The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock. Now this is one of Tom's favourite books from Tom Reads Things. He literally raved about this book. I think it's one of his favourites. So it's either this and The Binding are 2 of his favourite books. And he raved about it. So when the lovely Julie offered it to me, she was like, you can have it, you're going to love it. It's historical fiction. And it's another historical fiction, but this is a chunky one. It's set in 1785. The merchant Jonah Hancock hears an urgent knocking at his front door. One of his captains is waiting eagerly on the step. He has sold Jonah's ship to what appears to be a mermaid. Look at the end pages, guys. Can you see how absolutely beautiful they are? It is a gorgeous hardback book. If Tom likes it, I think I'm bound to like it. Julie liked it again. This is beautiful. It's, oh my goodness, it's about 450 pages. I said I was going to set, I know it's 480 pages. This is going to be one heck of a mission, but I can't wait to read it. It's historical fiction. It looks beautiful. And it's probably going to be read, I think I'll probably read it like Remember, then The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock. So kind of do it in that order, I think, because they're both quite long books, but they're both historical. So I will take it in turn to read those. Now the last 3 are going to be the ones I'm going to be reading for the magic. Like I said, I'm checking my notes again. I Put a Spell on You readathon, which is based on Hocus Pocus. So I'm not going to tell, I'll probably sort of mention the prompts for this, but not go into too much detail because I don't remember them. I'm not going to put myself under too much pressure, like I said. But check out Licky's announcement video because she will show you the prompts. And you can guess which ones lead into which on this. Now the first book I will be reading. I don't think I can wait for this one. Prince Caspian! It's the 3rd in the Narnia series. As I'm recording this, I'm about to start the first Narnia book, but this is the third one. No, sorry, I'm about to start the second one. I've read The Magician's Nephew a few months ago. But troubled times have gone to the land of Narnia, magical land of Narnia. Gone are the days of peace and freedom, where the animals, dwarfs, trees, and flowers could live in abundant peace. Civil war has divided the kingdom, and final destruction is close at hand. Prince Caspian, the rightful heir to the throne, resolves to bring Narnia glorious past, so he blows a magic horn to call up Peter, Susan, Lucy and Edmund to help in the task. Now this does cover 2 of Nicky's prompts. The first one is a book in the sequel, and the second one is a male protagonist. I personally believe that Prince Caspian is a great male protagonist, because if you know this book, you will understand why. He is such a fighter, and I love the way he brings back the kings. It's also the last book where Peter and Susan are sort of in it quite a bit. They do appear briefly in one other film, but this is the last one that they're really properly in, which in itself I found was quite emotional at the end. So yes, I've seen the films. Yes, I loved it. But this is going to be one that I can't wait to read. I'm just so excited about it. Now the next one is a book that's been on your shelf for a long time. Llewellyn's Child. Now this, my lovely friend Margaret, she's one of my mum's best friends and someone that's been like a second, third mum in my life. She's been with me it's been part of my life since I was about 8 or 9, I believe. It's a very, very long time. And she's lent me this book. It's historical fiction, I believe. I think it's sort of set in the Victorian time. I don't know much more. She has said that I'm going to love it. She passed it over to me. And she said literally it's a beautiful book. Another really long one. It's like over 400 pages. But she said I'm going to like it. She wants me to read it and to bring it home, sort of see whether I'm going to like it or pass it on, whatever. But she's been talking to me about reading this, and the fact she's lent it to me means it's very, very special and close to my heart. So what I'm going to be doing is that for the last week of October, I'm going to split the book up into a number of pages and read it over that. So it could be it's going to be quite a lot of pages, quite a lot of days. But again, it will be read this month, no question. Now, the next one is a book that I'm surprised I picked up. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It is a beautiful book. It's a historical book. It's a historical novel. It's a classic, but it's a classic that's a horror classic. Now, I thought I'm never, ever going to pick up a horror, as, you know, I'm a wimp. But the lovely Linda from Linda's World of Books has said to me, she said, read Frankenstein or read another Count Dracula. And she was going to read it with me. So, it doesn't quite participate in Booktober, which I'm gutted about because I would have loved to add that in. But it's sort of a historical classic. It's only about, if you don't include the appendices, I believe it's about 200 pages. So, I'm reading it literally up to Halloween. So I'm reading it on the day, I think over about the course of about 5 days up to Halloween. But again, it's one that I can't wait. But my lovely friend Sammy from work said it's not a horror as in it's going to be scaring me too much, because back then horror, they didn't sort of scare people. But it's one that I'm quite intrigued about, and it's one that a lot of people have spoken about, so I can't wait to read this. Reading it alongside Linda makes it more special, so can't wait. And that also kind of puts in another prompt of Nikki's, which is sort of a scary book and a horror book, and it involves children, I believe, one of them. I think also the Caspian book involves children. So there's quite a lot of interesting books I've set myself this month. I have set myself some really long books, which I've never done before. Now, originally when I've sort of chopped and changed my books for October so many times over the course of September, because I didn't know what to read. I don't want to put myself under pressure to read too much, but I want to read books and I love reading. And I've surprised myself in September how many I've read. So let's see how I do. And let's see how it all runs out. Because I, for one, am really excited about October. It's the start, to me, October really is the start of autumn. It's when you get into cosy reading. It's when you get into books where you just literally want to hide inside. And to me, the winter is the time when in cosy times when you want to read more, because you don't want to go outside. You don't want to go out much. You just want to hide with your books. And for me, that's what I'm doing. So, guys, I'd love to hear, what books are you reading in October? What ones of those of my books that I've shown you want to read with me? Let me know. I'd love to buddy read with any of you. And I hope you all have a great month of October to read. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. And I hope you all enjoy this October and October. Have a great one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.